Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode number 38 of the Beyond the Ring with Big T Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Big T, right here with you, and we got a very special guest with us right here, right now. We got professional wrestling superstar Rodney Mack is in the house. How you doing, Rodney?
Good, man. Thank you. And thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. Well, I guess where I'm gonna get right into is before we talk a little bit about your career. I did my research and I seen that you were trained by the Junkyard Dog, and just wanted to get some insight from you on how your training went when you were training to become a professional wrestler.
Man, that's a long story, but of course, everybody knows who Patriot Dog is, and he got me started back in, I guess, about the end of '96. I met him briefly after my career in college football, and he took me under his wing, and he trained me down in Louisiana, Lafayette, and we pretty much got started down in Homer, and Homer, Louisiana, was near South Championship Wrestling there, and shortly after that, I met Rod Price, and I continued my training on with Rod, but JYD was the guy that introduced me to the business. He's also my uncle, and that's pretty much how I got started. Also met Jazz through training with Dog.
Oh yeah, Jazz. She's another legend in pro wrestling. I remember when I was about, I think, 13, 14 years old when she made her debut in WWE, and I know she was around even before her WWE days. She was a great talent, and I know she's your current wife.
Yes, she is.
Now,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about that, near the end, but since we got up the topic now, you and Jazz met while, was it in the WWE, or did you meet at training? Like, how did that all come about?
Yes, that's I met her through training with Junkyard Dog is where I first met her. She was actually the first student that I trained with. There were about 10 or 15 other people there, but she was the only one that actually stayed. She and I ended up being the only two to finish the class at the time. Like I said, then we moved on to Rugged Rod Price. And Rod Price took us from there. Of course, shortly after that, JYD got into that accident and passed away. And then we then went to Rod Price and got trained. And Rod took us on the road, got us the first tryout. He took me to NWA in Texas, and then Jazz as well. And then I think it was around 98, 99, we had a tryout with ECW in Alabama. And then moved on to Queens and stayed there a while, and then trained at the House of Hardcore and began the circuit with ECW. So, that's basically how it started.
Okay. Now, your ECW days, I know you were a part of the ECW brand in like 2000, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, and then you went through ECW, and then after your ECW time, that's when you moved on to OVW, correct? And then from OVW.
Yeah, I went back to the Indies for a while, and I worked with the NWA, a bunch of NWA companies, and then yes, I went on to OVW. I went to a tour in Africa first, and then when I got back from Africa, Jazz received a call and got invited invited to OVW, or actually got signed with WWE, and she had to go to OVW for a few weeks. And I guess she talked to Jim Cornette and a few other guys, Jim Ross, actually, and they called me down to OVW, and I got down there and stayed, I guess, about 6 months, and then moved on to WWE.
Now, after going through OVW and getting called up in WWE, I remember because I was watching, every episode of every show that they had on TV at that point, and I remember your WWE run, and I wanted to ask you about your time with Teddy Long, because I remember you broke into WWE, you got put on the Raw brand, and then you got paired up with Teddy Long, and then I know Jazz got added to part of that stable, and then Mark Henry, I know you were a tag team with him, and Teddy Long was your manager, and you had some real good matches, and I remember you were on a roll where you were undefeated for quite a while. If you'd like to talk about your WWE tenure.
Well, yeah, of course it was one of the greatest, times in my career. For one, being able to perform on that stage with, athletes and wrestlers of that caliber. Teddy Long was very helpful to us by the way he was a real manager. Is what a manager should be like. He took care of everything else except for, in the ring, which was, he left it up to us, of course. But, yeah, he was great. He took care of the travel. He took care of all the arrangements. And, like I said, done the things that a manager should do, which made the load a lot easier for him.
Now, after you went on this run in WWE, once your time there was done, then you moved back to the Indies, and what did you do as far as in the Indies, going forward after WWE?
Well, man, basically, I just enjoy, what I do. I love what I do, and that's what I was born to do. So I enjoy wrestling, no matter on what level it is. I just enjoy getting in the ring and, doing what I do. But my goal is still the same as it always was. It was never to be able to work for just any particular company. Of course, yes, it's a blessing to work for WWE and any top brand, but the bottom line is that I'm blessed to be able to do what I can do. Do what I love to do and have the passion to do and make a living at it. And that's for my goals in where I'm at now in the independent is to continue getting better each time, every match, and also get back to the business by making all of my opponents, each and every one who steps in the ring with me, just another notch better when they leave. And as far as the personal goals is to continue to win every championship and dominate every company that I step foot in.
That's a good goal to have, and I have no doubt that you'll accomplish that goal because I've seen your work in the Indies. Like I've said, I've seen your work in WWE, and you've always put together top-notch caliber work everywhere you've been. So I have no doubt, that things are going to keep rolling for you.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And yes, most definitely, I feel physically and mentally good, or honestly, better than I have in the last 15 or 20 years. When I play in the gym, my body's holding up really well. So things is looking, pretty good. And I'm just once again enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm trying to, dominate and win every belt that in every company that I ever worked for.
Now, I'm sure you've had thousands of matches, all over the world throughout your career. And I'm just curious, out of all the different places that you've been, all the different opponents that you have had the pleasure of getting in the ring with, I guess this is a two-part question. First off, what was your favorite match, if you have one? And the second part of the question would be, out of all the matches you've had, who would be one opponent that you would want to get in the ring with that you haven't gotten in the ring with as of yet? Like, what would your dream match be?
Okay, back to the first question. As far as the most memorable matches, man, it's hard because I have quite a few. When you wrestle, on that level, being having the opportunity to get in the ring with guys like Booker T and Eddie Guerrero and Benoit and the list goes on, Ray Ray and RVD, all those guys that really stick out in my mind. Kurt Angle. It's hard. It's really hard to say. Which one that I prefer or not say prefer. Well, I guess I can, kind of lean over more to the match that I had with Chris Benoit. I had a match with him on International Heat, and after the match was over, we got a standing ovation. And when he left the ring, of course, he left me in the ring stand. And as I stood up, once again, like I said, the house was full, and we got a standing ovation. And that was really something that stuck in my mind, for a long time.
That's in-
as far as for having dream matches with someone that I've never had a match with, once again, man, that's kind of hard, but I guess I'll have to lean with somebody like Rick Flair. I never had a chance to have a match with him, but I mean, I'd love to have had that opportunity to step in the ring with him, in his prime.
Now, I gotta say, when you spoke of Chris Benoit in the match that you guys had, and it really doesn't surprise me at all because Chris Benoit was one of the best workers, that there ever was, and I've heard it from other men in the business that when they wrestled Chris, it was just a fantastic experience. They enjoyed their match, and you know, it's awesome to hear you say that because like I said, there's a lot of people that I talk to, and some people really don't talk about it, but whenever Chris is mentioned, it's awesome to hear that.
Right. I mean, I'm not one to judge, who am I to judge? I don't know. We don't know what happened, but besides that, we want to tell him, I'm not speaking of his personal life and his personal business, as far as the guy as a wrestler in the ring. My opinion is he is one of the greatest of all time, that's why I mentioned him, he would bring out of you, and at the same time, you got something out of it. It wasn't the person was very physical, but at the same time, he was the guy that had passion for the business and himself, and he always tried to help everybody. Like I said, I learned a lot from him and Eddie. I learned a lot from a lot of guys, and if I had to sit here and name the guys, we could go on and on forever because I've learned out of every locker room from every guy, from the Chasers, Brothers, and New Jack, and Balls, and Tommy Dreamer, Taz, Nicky Butler, God Almighty Paul Lee, the Jim Cornette, and Dr. Tom Pritchard on that group, and there's so much, man. I could go on, on and on. So I feel I was very blessed, and I am, feel blessed to be allowed, this song and to give it back.
Well, you know what, you have had a very decorated career, and you know what, you still do because you're still out there in the ring doing what you do best. And I guess this brings me to the last part of the interview. Um, what is next for Rodney Mack? What do you got coming up next? What are some future plans?
Well, right now, I'm on the road right now in South Carolina, defending the AIWF World Heavyweight belt tonight in a cage match against Eric Darkstorm. Currently I think I have around nine different championships from all over, the United States. And like I said, going there tonight is a very big show tonight for AIWF. Is the 25th anniversary, and there should be maybe 20 to 30 different independent companies, some from overseas. I'm not mistaken, representatives from Africa, Australia, China, different places like that. Are going to be there tonight, and of course, I'm going to do everything in my power to continue and maintain being the AIWF World Heavyweight Champion. But it looks very promising in the future this year for me branching out and going overseas and representing AIWF and being a world champion, to the best of my ability this year.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Is there any places that we could find your AIWF matches online for all the fans that want to check you out? What you're doing?
I'm sure you can get in touch with Mack the AIWF, and he will have that information for you guys.
Okay, and I was just thinking of one of the last questions that I had for you. Oh, what do you have a website like as far as like where you have shows listed that you're going to when you're going to be performing, and for people to keep up on like all your events that you're going to be a part of?
Well, yeah, we usually post them on Facebook and on my page, but we also have the school, the Downtown University, and you can go on that website as well and see. We usually put them on there.
Okay, perfect. Well, Rodney, I gotta tell you, it's really been awesome, listening to a little part of everything that you have done over the years in pro wrestling, and I gotta say, I wish the best, and I really hope that you keep that AIWF Heavyweight Championship, and just keep doing what you're doing and do the best work that you can. And I guess where I want to leave this is for the final question. Would you ever consider coming back to the WWE if you got the phone call, or would you prefer to just do what you're doing now in the indies?
Well, to be quite honest with you, man, I'm very happy with what I'm doing. I love having the freedom. I wrestle very constantly. I have a pretty busy schedule. So I'm pretty happy, wrestling. There's really no real big politics involved. And as long as I'm getting better continuously and giving back to the business, it doesn't matter which company, I wrestle. Yeah, I'm pretty happy where I'm at.
Awesome. And you know what? I'm happy to hear it, and I'm sure all your fans are happy to hear it as well. And stay on the line with me for 1 minute while I sign off with everybody here real quick. But before I sign off, Rodney, as far as the fans while we're on air, do you have any last words that you'd like to say for the fans before we get off air here?
Well, yes, of course. First of all, I'd like to thank you, each and every one of you for, supporting me throughout the years. I mean, it's been 20 long years, and like I said, I'm blessed for my success, and it wouldn't be, I would not be nearly as successful had it not been for the fans, and their approval. So, hats off and God bless all the fans, and I hope to see you sometime soon when I come near your area.
And Rodney, I say this on behalf of myself, and I'm sure behalf of all the fans that are listening to this podcast as well. I want to say thank you for your contributions of 20 hard, long years working in the business, and just want to say thank you for putting your body on the line every single night for the sake of our entertainment, and just making sure that the fans that buy a ticket to see you, you make sure you go out there and you give it everything that you have to make sure that your fans go home happy. And for that, I say thank you for all of your contributions to the pro wrestling business.
Thank you very much, man. And like you said, man, there will not be a time that I go out in the ring and I'll give everything I have. For the love of the fans and to get paid the hard-earned money to see. So I would never ever go out there and half step.
And Rodney, I'll tell you, I'm rooting for you tonight. Get through that cage match, keep that title, and we're all rooting for you here. And if you ever want to come back on the show and chat with what you got going on, don't hesitate. I'd be more than happy to have you back. And as far as I'm sure the fans would love to hear you back as well. And even if you got some shows coming up, maybe if you want a little promotion on some of the things you're doing, just feel free to shoot me a message and I'll talk about it on the show to update everybody here.
I sure will, man. And thank you very much, man. And thanks again to all the fans on behalf of myself and the Dog Pound. Much love to you, and we'll be seeing you soon, man.
It sounds great, and I'm going to sign off here on the live audience, so hang out with me for 1 second while I say goodbye to everybody here, and I just want to say thank you again, Rodney, and to all the fans out there, I hope you enjoyed this interview, and a big thank you to Mr. Rodney Mack joining us today. And this has been episode number 38 of the Beyond the Ring with Big T Wrestling podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we will talk to you soon. Have a good day. Goodbye, everybody.